Welcome to the Visibility Strategies for Women Entrepreneurs podcast, where we empower female business owners to step boldly into the spotlight and claim the recognition they deserve. I'm your host, Tori Barker. I'm passionate about helping women like you transform your visibility into tangible business success. Each week on this show, we'll dive deep into game-changing strategies, share inspiring success stories from women who've mastered their visibility, and offer practical, actionable advice you can implement immediately. Whether you're just starting your entrepreneurial journey, pivoting your business model, or ready to elevate your existing presence to new heights, you'll discover effective approaches to create exciting opportunities and expand your reach. So let's harness the power of strategic visibility and grow your business together. Welcome to the show. What does it really take for ambitious moms to lead, earn, and thrive without sacrificing themselves in the process? In today's episode, I'm joined by Khiara Cureton, executive career and wealth coach and founder of AncHER Co. Khiara helps women break through career ceilings, build confidence, and create financial freedom while redefining what leadership looks like for working mothers. In today's episode, we dive into how visibility shapes success, the mindset shifts that move women from playing small to taking up space, and why confidence, not perfection, is the foundation of growth. Let's dive in. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us again on the podcast. I am super excited to introduce you to my guest, Khiara Cureton. Khiara, how are you today?
Hello. I'm doing well. How are you, Tori?
I am fantastic. I always love our green room conversations because I feel like it's like the warm up behind the stage. And then we get out on the stage and we're like, bam.
Yes, and we make it happen. Let's do it.
Bring in the energy, right?
Yes.
Well, let's start off because I want you to introduce yourself, obviously, but I want you to tell the listeners what inspired you to create your company, AncHER Co, and specifically how and why you wanted to help these ambitious moms. So tell us a little bit about you.
I would love to. So I'm Khiara Cureton. I'm a vice president of operations in healthcare. And I started AncHER Co because I was in a consulting career a couple of years ago, and I was just getting ready for promotion right before 2020 happened. And then we found out we were pregnant, and I was so ecstatic. I've always wanted to be a mother. But then a little part of me was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Because back then we were doing traditional consulting, which was traveling Monday through Thursday, living out of hotels. And that is not the type of mother that I wanted to show up as. And so I felt really conflicted between, career growth or wanting to be the mother as I always thought I'd be. And I had career mentors, I had a financial advisor, but I didn't feel like there was anyone that was looking at both sides of this equation holistically, now intervening motherhood in the middle of all of this. And so I created a resource that I felt like didn't exist. And I just knew that there were certain moments where after I had my son, I was staying really small, I was staying stuck because of all of the stories that were told, right? Like, oh, when you have your child, like, your energy and your time and effort goes to your family, kind of like forget about yourself, whether that's from a healthcare perspective, career, entrepreneurial perspective, and kind of just give. And so I created a space where I want to help, or I help, I should say, ambitious mothers kind of break through that middle management ceiling. They know they've still got that power and that ambition, but they're just not sure kind of how to show up and step into their first, executive leadership role. And I weave in wealth building there as well too, because I feel very strongly, despite your situation, I feel like women should feel comfortable with money, talking about money, and understand how it works. So
yeah, I mean, I love that it's not only one piece. Like if you just focused on one piece of that, it'd be amazing. But the fact that you intertwined all of it, right? Like how to stop playing small and how to understand your worth and your value as a mom, as a working
yes.
mom,
Yes.
and on top of that, the wealth side of it. Like
you don't have to just be a mom that just makes like a little bit of money on the
Right.
side just for
Right.
playing. Like you can
Be that
be,
breadwinner. Okay.
yeah, you can be a boss. Like, you know what I
Yes.
mean? And I love
Yes.
that because I feel like so many women are either conditioned or like
Mhm.
hear it or whatever, and they think that, right? But it's almost like we've got to like get the megaphone out and be like, listen, ladies, like sky's the limit for you and don't think small because we can do it all.
Right, right. And I tell people this all the time. I'm like, I truly believe you can do it all. Now, you may not be able to do it all at the same time, depending on the resources you have. But just don't stuff your desires, your wants, or anything. But yeah, I'm helping women rewrite that narrative because you're absolutely right. We were conditioned, again, like I was mentioning, to say, like, oh, I have the child now, so it's all about the
Yeah,
child. But I always tell my clients, I'm like, look, the happier you are, the more fulfilled you are, the more you're able to pour into your children, your family, your
100.
business, all of
Mhm.
that. So
100%. Yeah, and I feel like I don't know if it's like a generational thing because it's like I know my mom, she was focused on being the stay-at-home mom.
mhm.
And I mean, it's probably a question I should ask her like,
Yeah,
did you
do it. And I
feel
want to know the answer too.
because I mean she's amazing. My mom did it all. Like she was a stay-at-home mom. She took us to sport, she took us to school. And then, when we got a little bit older, she went back into the workforce. And
Mhm.
so it's like, I wonder if it's that generational thing where it's like, like me, it was never a question. Like I knew that I wanted to be a mom, and then I also knew I wanted to have a career. And so it was like that internal struggle when you first
Yeah,
have kids. It's like, is it okay? Like, is that all right?
right.
But and then it's like thinking about like future generations, like
Mhm.
our children, are they even going to have that question? Because it's like
Right.
we're almost breaking that mold from
Yes.
generation to generation that it's okay for women to be ambitious and it's okay for us to be mothers at the same time because we can, be wonderful, caring, nurturing mothers while still being a boss at work.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's truly case by case. And that's kind of where I start in my coaching is let's understand that career story. Let's understand your money story. Because for my story, like I was raised by a single mom who I saw
Mm,
also do it all. Right. But I think
yeah.
like your do it all, my do it all might have looked different when we were younger. Right. So
Yeah.
for me, I kind of was raised in like, I can't, not saying that you were, but like it was never verbally said to me, but it's like, don't depend on anyone. Like, cause I saw my mom do it all to your point, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so yeah, and I definitely know for sure that we are breaking some ceilings and some barriers. We have a long way to go. We're not quite there yet, but we're making a lot better strides to get there. And I
Yeah.
hope that by the time, I mean, I have a son now, but that if I ever have a daughter or nieces, that it's not a question, it's like,
Yeah.
it's okay. So.
Yeah. So, what lessons from your like corporate leadership background did you bring into your own business to help you better coach, better advise these women that you're working with? Like, what experiences from your own life did you bring into your business?
Yeah. So when I think about my own career journey, I will definitely say visibility um, has been the common thread that kind of connects everything. So whether it was, being in the hospital boardroom full of like healthcare executives, or now as I'm speaking to a room full of ambitious moms who are building their career, visibility has always been that difference between, staying stuck or getting to that next goal or that next level. So
Yeah.
in my healthcare career, that looked like using my voice in spaces that, trust me, I was typically the youngest, a woman of color in the rooms, and there were like physician executives and CEOs and all of that. But I wasn't loud with it. I was strategic with it. And
Yeah.
then in my entrepreneurship, it's not just about being seen internally, it's about showing up publicly, right?
Mm,
Like all about
yeah.
being entrepreneurship is like putting yourself out there through thought leadership, sharing your story in a way that connects with your audience, from people across the globe that you've never met who may or may not have an opinion about you.
Yeah.
Um, so that I would say like that corporate side really helped me to craft what that looks like in my business.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about the confidence side of it, because I think, you know, for me, obviously, I have visibility is my, jam.
Yeah.
And one of the pieces of visibility is confidence. And
Mhm.
so it's so integral to your visibility journey and your visibility strategy. So how do you intertwine or coach on confidence with these women?
Yeah, honestly, it takes time. And I'm not a therapist, and I say this all the time, but I truly like to understand someone's origin, someone's childhood, someone's upbringing, because a lot of those times, those things show up in our adult life. And kind of to what I mentioned earlier, you know, I was the youngest in a lot of these meetings by far. And I've had plenty of moments where I've questioned, you know, do I belong here? Sometimes I even try to get out of meetings sometimes. And people are like, no, 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 you are running the project. Like, you have to be there. But what helped me in all these situations and what I instill in my clients is preparation, right? So
Mm.
whether that's us doing mock interviews where I'm like giving it back to them and asking tough questions, um, I came into the room, and this works on both sides in my corporate career as well as entrepreneurship, but knowing my numbers, knowing the data, anticipating or thinking about what are the questions that they're likely going to ask me. And honestly, just standing in that confidence that I know my stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so whether again, it's delivering like a keynote now or coaching a client, I carry that same presence and energy and try to help, my client do the same. And again, it takes time. It takes time. Give yourself grace because there's lots of factors that are telling you can't do it. But I truly believe that visibility means that you don't shrink when the opportunity comes. You own that and you own that space.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I mean, the preparation side is something that and I don't think people really think about or talk about, but you have to be prepared. Like you said, you have to know your numbers. You have to show up with confidence, and preparation builds confidence. But the other side of it is just doing it, right? Like sometimes you have to step in with fear or step
Yeah.
in with hesitation, because the more you step in, the easier it gets. And that's one of the things I always preach, like, done is better than perfect, or,
Right.
stepping in with nerves is better than not even stepping in or stepping up at
Oh,
all.
yeah.
So those
And
are
staying
key.
safe, like, yes, I get it. It feels comfortable, but staying safe or staying consistent rarely gets you to the next goal or that next place or space that you're trying to get into.
Yeah. Now, let's talk a little bit about personal brand, because like even in like the corporate space, there's still an importance of a personal brand.
Mhm.
And especially in entrepreneurship, personal brand is huge, but that plays such a integral part in the career growth for women, that I think you can't overlook that aspect of it. Even if, like I said, even if you are in corporate, you have to build your personal brand because you're not going to be there forever,
Right.
and so you need to kind of like future proof yourself, if you will.
Yeah. So to me, I would say definitely in my corporate side, and I bring this to entrepreneurship as well, but I'm ultimately just me. Like, I'm very honest, I'm not the one to sugarcoat just to make someone happy or to make it. I'm going to say no for the outcomes of our patients. This is what makes the most sense based on XYZ said data. And honestly, when it comes to AncHER, my corporate experience literally pours into my entrepreneurship, right? Because I'm speaking life into these women who have these desires. I can't show up scared, right? And so the biggest way that I've made my personal brand again in my corporate career is just being myself, being authentic, wearing the hot, I have like this wonderful hot pink suit that I just
I
love.
love it.
It's very professional, I
Yeah.
do tone it down with like a black shirt or white shirt or whatever, but it's like, or I have like these red pants that I remember
Yeah.
I used to question. I'm like, oh, is this too much? Are people going to see me? I'm like, Kiara, look, you stand out enough anyway. So just do it and own it. And that's what makes you memorable, not when you're trying to fit in with everyone else and what everyone else is doing. And then when it comes to AncHER, um, I'm bold, and I'm going to tell you, I'm not, I'm going to tell you like it is, but let me
Yeah.
clarify what I mean by that
Yeah.
is I'm going to be very honest. Again, I'm not one to sugarcoat. And I realize that especially in entrepreneurship, stories are what makes it stick for your client. So if you have that relatable story, if you're honest, if you're sharing your story, not that you have to share every detail and so forth, but when you're able to make that connection with your clients, like that is what people remember, right? So I would say those are just in relationships. Like I'm very, very
Yeah.
big on, especially as I grow in my own brands, really strategic about my relationships, but they have to make sense. Like I don't care to be everyone's LinkedIn friend, nowadays, right? It's like, okay, is this someone who can help me or I can help them, right? And we're in the same industry or realm or something to that effect. But I think especially as women, sometimes we can underestimate our network, and just those relationships, whether it's entrepreneur, from the entrepreneur side or from the corporate side.
Yeah. I wanted to touch on your bright pink
Yes.
suit jacket because okay, for one, I love it.
Yes.
It's on
I
your
love,
site, it's on your social, right? But
yeah.
I've heard a lot of other women do something similar to that where they wear like a bold jacket or a bold
Yep.
shirt or bold pants, and they use it strategically for their
Mhm.
visibility
Mhm.
and for networking because what they've said, I haven't been bold enough to do it yet.
No.
Maybe I'm going to have to find
Yeah.
me something bold.
Yeah. We're gonna have to
But
find you some color,
I
some bright,
know,
bold color. Or you could do a
girl.
bold lip. I know some people do that as well too.
But what they'll say is like it makes it easier to network because when they
Mhm.
walk in a room, especially if like maybe they're a little more reserved or
Sure.
introverted, people come up to them instead
Yeah.
of them having to go up to people. And so some people are like, yeah, I'm better with conversations when somebody starts a conversation with me. So it's
Yeah.
like, that's pretty brilliant, when you use that tactic or that strategy to build your personal brand and your visibility and
Yeah.
make it easier for you to communicate and network with people. I'm like, yeah, now I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
find me something.
Yeah, let's figure out what your favorite color is. But no, I mean honestly, like despite me wearing black today,
Yeah.
I love color, and I think it just really it to me it almost gives me a different type of energy to go into the
True.
room. I don't have a problem going up to people. I mean, I will say the older I get, and just the more energy I have to pour into my son, the more I'm just very strategic nowadays. But
Yeah.
I just feel like a different energy. And I'm like, yes, like let me take this room, even if I'm there for 30 minutes and not the full event or something.
Yeah.
And it makes me remember, I was like, oh, wait, who was that? Oh, yeah, you had the beautiful
Oh, I
pink
love it.
suit. It's like, yes,
Yeah.
that was me.
Okay, so let's shift gears and let's talk about wealth because I know that's one of the other strategic
Mhm.
pieces of what you do is helping women build wealth. So, what are some of those steps or like things that they need to think of, or ways to build wealth? What is it that you coach them on so that they feel like they can have that wealth in their business?
Yes, and this will go, I don't care if you're in corporate or if you're an entrepreneur, it goes for both ways. The biggest thing, so when I do start my coaching, I do start with some exercises that help us unveil your money story and maybe some of that money trauma or maybe
Yeah.
not, maybe good habits that also came from your childhood. Um, but the first thing I always tell people, the exercise I love to do, let me back up. The first thing I tell people is know your numbers, right? And it's like, okay, everyone says that, all the gurus are saying that, but truly understand and know your numbers. What do I mean by that? After we kind of dig through your money story, I do an exercise that I absolutely love. And I'm like, hey, just roughly tell me what you think your budget is, how much you're spending on Chick-fil-A for the kids and all that kind of stuff. And then what I do is a 90-minute session. And we sit, obviously, there's a level of trust that is built at this time. And we go through the last 3 months of your transactions. And I literally we write down every number. So it's not what you thought it was, it's what it literally was. What did you
Actually,
spend?
yeah.
Your actuals. And it is mind blowing. And then I just have them pause. And I'm like, is this reflective of your values, your goals, and all of that? Because especially in today's society, what you can swipe, you can tap the phone, like that, you don't feel that money leaving your hands
Yeah.
as much
Yeah.
as like dollars and so forth in the past. And so for me, it's a very simple exercise, but I say know your numbers. And I am just amazed at how many people either tell me like, oh, my partner handles the money, and or I don't want to look. I don't want to look. And I'm like,
Gosh.
but how do you get to the other side of
Yeah.
whatever your goal is,
Yeah.
So I start there. And then it truly becomes personal because, your goals might not be my goals. Maybe my goal is to scale and, your goal is to maintain or grow a group program or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And then I create a customized strategy for them that feels like good to them, right? It doesn't feel restrictive. I know some people don't like the word budget, spending plan, we could call it whatever you want to. But I really, and that's why I like to coach on both because your finances ultimately influence your career and vice versa. Your career influences your finances. So why would you think about them separately
Yeah.
beyond salary negotiation? Because that's what we usually think of when we think of money in our career. Um, and so I sit with them and I'm like, okay, well, now we know the real, right? We've looked at your numbers, we know your actuals. Let's look at your goals again and let's create a plan that feels in alignment with you and that feels good and that that is sustainable. Let's not say, okay, you're going to save $50,000 in a week. I mean, maybe some people can do that, great. But realistically, when I'm working with busy moms who are parents and are children of aging parents, that's the biggest thing. Their money's kind of going all over the place. And so that's where I start and create a custom plan that's in alignment with their career goals and their personal financial goals.
Love that. What about mindset shifts? Do
Mm,
you like, I know you talk a lot about like, let's dive into the story or the
yes.
history. Like, is there one mindset shift that you find is common with your clients, either in the corporate or the entrepreneur space, that they're like, okay, we need to make this shift in your mindset?
Yeah. I deserve this.
Yeah.
And it seems so simple, but truly, I mean, even I have lots of entrepreneur friends who are like, maybe I should sit out. Like my child is, 4 going in daycare or sports. Or, I mean, listen, as we know as parents, your child at every stage, it's a different thing. There's
Yeah.
always something. So
Ugh.
don't let that be the block for you. And just really, I always ask a simple question too. Why did you start this? Or why do you want to be in this career? What is that drive? What is the why behind that? And remembering that. And then it's like a little light bulb goes off. And you constantly have to remind yourself of that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to do it as well. But it's like, why did I start AncHER? I started AncHER because I was struggling with the ambition, being an ambitious woman. And then now I'm taking on this identity of mother, right? And how do you blend those together? So it's like, keep going. So telling yourself, I deserve this, and then reminding yourself of the why are two of the biggest, most simplest well, I shouldn't say simple, but things that you can begin to tell yourself. And then over time, you start to believe it, you start to embody it, you start to feel it, and then you start to actually do it.
Mm, I love that. Khiara, it has been amazing chatting with you, learning from you, hearing your story, and the amazing work that you're doing with these women entrepreneurs. Thank you so much for being a guest.
Yeah, this is so fun. Thank you. The time always flies by.
I know. I mean, I feel like every time, I have these interviews, it's almost like, you make a new friend and you build this
Yes.
connection. And that's
Yes.
what podcasting is about. It's not just about, marketing or content or
Right.
visibility. It's networking and
Those
relationships. And
relationships. Yeah.
yeah, it's so important. So thank you for taking the time to tell us, what you do and who you do it for and how you help. And I just I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This was great,
Yeah.
Tori.
So if women listening are interested in working with you or want to just connect with you, where can they go to reach out?
Yeah, find our Instagram handle is the Anchor Co. So that's TheAncher CO at Instagram. And then our website is just www.anchorco.com.
Awesome. Thank you again. It's been so amazing talking to you.
Have a great day.